with uh, SayTrees. We are SayTrees Environmental Trust. I hope all of you can see the shared screens. I request
Yes,
Mr.
we can.
Lakshmipati to please acknowledge.
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati.
You're
So
you're welcome.
yeah, we are SayTrees Environmental Trust. We are a non-government organization based out of Bangalore. We are operating in the field of environment and water body, afforestation and water body rejuvenation for more than 12 years now. And the founder director is Mr. Kapil Sharma, who right now is in the United States. He stays out of America. He has a day job, and we take care of SayTrees Environmental Trust, or SayTrees in short, here in Bangalore and across India. So SayTrees began. I'll just give a brief five minutes description on what was the inspiration for SayTrees to be born. So my director, Mr. Kapil, when he came to Bangalore, this was back in 2007-8, when he came to Bangalore from Raipur. Bangalore was still called, I don't know, maybe the garden city of such, and we had seen the downfall of trees already. So he started going to a day job in Bangalore, and he started seeing too many trees being cut down and chopped down. And he came from a place where trees had a lot of value because Raipur, Chhattisgarh is a place where there are not many trees and temperature is scorching high. So he felt the need to replant, and that is when he started planting trees one after the other as an individual. He would go on his two-wheeler, he would see an open space, empty space, plant a sapling. You know what usually people do. So that is what he started doing. Then many like-minded people like him came together. They started planting trees during the weekends on Saturdays and Sundays. So one person became two, two became four, four became 10. I'm talking about volunteers alone, not full-time employees at all. So today, the volunteer force, when I say volunteer, every individual is a 100% volunteer who just gives their time alone during the weekends. So we have a volunteer force of about 600 to 800 people across India. When I say volunteer force, they are ready to come in to plant, to maintain, to do whatever SayTrees request them to do in terms of afforestation and any kind of a environment-based activity. So, SayTrees is a non-profit organization working passionately to restore lost green cover of the nation by planting saplings to create urban and rural forests. So these forests are hope for the generations to come. I come from a place called Sadashivanagar in Bangalore. So I remember when I was going to school back in the 96, 97, between 90s and 2000s, we had a huge forest. My school is built on a forest, basically. So, and we did not have traffic lights. It was a large circle where there were trees, and now there are no more circles in Bangalore with parks or trees. Now it is all becoming red light. So we have lost a lot of greenery, and we are trying to bring back that, creating one forest at a time. So which brings to what is our aim? Our aim is to create hundreds of acres of natural forests in years to come. These forests are created in urban and rural areas to support life in these regions. Whenever we say that we are creating urban forests, the first question that people ask is, okay, now we are going to plant trees, and is that it? Is that only thing that you do? Now, what comes along with planting trees are the additional advantages, or the positive side effects. When we speak about side effects, usually people consider side effects have to be negative, but there are positive side effects as well. So let's get to the positive side effects in a while. But yes, our major aim is to create Miyawaki forests or forests in urban and rural setups. Until now, you've created more than 35 such Miyawaki forests. I'm talking about small, medium, and large Miyawaki forests in Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bombay, Noida, Gurgaon, and many more smaller places. And the first question that usually people have, if people, I hope people who have been, listening to Miyawaki forest for the first time. So I'll just tell you what is a Miyawaki forest. Miyawaki is basically the name of a Japanese scientist. His name is Dr. Akira Miyawaki. So he's a Japanese scientist or a botanist who showed the technique to grow dense and native forests. So I stress native again. The reason I call it native is we have been creating forests in multiple different regions in India, and we've also got requests to do it outside of India. Now, when I say Miyawaki forest, I don't bring in any kind of a orchid variety or a non-native variety or an exotic variety of a sapling species variety, but they are all very much native. It belongs to India, and it also belongs to the specific geography that we are doing. If I'm doing it in Karnataka, I will have a list of saplings which are native to Karnataka, because saplings that grow in Karnataka, Andhra, Kerala, I cannot expect the same saplings to grow in Himachal, Uttarakhand, and Assam. So the geography is different, the temperature is different, the soil type is different. So native is not just native to the country, but also to the geography. Now, these forests grow fast and they are 100% maintenance free after 3 years. So saplings in Miyawaki grow 10 times faster and the forest is 30 times more dense. Okay. So when I say 10 times faster, I mean that a forest that is looking like 100-year-old can be achieved in 10 years time, right? So there is something called as plural natural vegetation, which says if a land is let untouched, uninterfered for more than a couple of years, 600, 700 years, it naturally turns into a forest. So we are trying to mimic that particular plural natural vegetation by planting native saplings in a very dense fashion in a controlled area. And these are 30 times more dense. When we go back to our elders, our forefathers who've been doing agriculture, who've been doing saplings, who plantation for more than 2, 3, 5 decades, they have a convention or a conviction that saplings have to be planted at least X feet away. But we are bringing it closer. We are making it, denser. In a given space, we are trying to plant 30 times more number of saplings compared to the traditional variety. So Miyawaki forest is something which grows 10 times faster. It is 30 times denser. It is 100% native and 100% organic. These days the trend of organic culture is growing. But I will very authoritatively say Miyawaki forests are 100% organic. The saplings are raised from pedigree seeds. They are non-grafted. They are insect repellent free. We don't spray any kind of chemical pesticides or insecticides. We use cow dung. We use Ghanajivamritam. We use neem cake, and we use panchagavya. So we use these kind of very naturally occurring organic materials to support the sapling growth. Now coming to the benefits. Now Miyawaki forests are highly biodiverse. When I say biodiverse, we plant more than 60 species of native saplings in any forest. So a Miyawaki forest can be created in areas as small as 300 square meters to as large as any number. It can be 1 acre, 5 acres, 10 acres, or even 50 acres can be done. So the saplings occupy 4 layers of the forest, which makes them very dense. The first layer would be the ground dwelling layer, plants, not trees. Second layer will be the shrub layer. Third layer will be the tree layer, and fourth layer will be the canopy layer, right? So all these 4 layers are included in the Miyawaki forest. So we have a thick, dense, lush green forest which has more than 60 species. We try to increase the number of species every time we plant, but 60 is definite. And when I say native, only native saplings are planted in Miyawaki forests. I repeat, we do not go for any exotic, non-indigenous orchid varieties. We don't plant gulmohars, we don't plant ashoka, we don't plant palms, we don't plant royal palms. None of these are planted in a Miyawaki forest because none of these are native. Planting native saplings is of utmost importance as they will support local ecosystem. They require less maintenance and are less vulnerable to pests and diseases. Okay. Now, whenever we speak about this, I give an example. Now, if we travel anywhere across India, we see the Simakarvedam, the weed that grows in barren lands. Now, that is one example that we always give. You sow a seed of a Simakarvelum, it will rot. You sow a seed and give water, it will rot. But you throw a seed on a dry land, it will sprout and it will become into a sapling, right? So that is the strength of nativity. When Dr. Akira Miyawaki studied the biodiversity in Japan during the large tsunami that occurred about 10 years ago, that devastated the entire shoreline, there were a couple of findings that he has published. One of the major observations that he saw was, even though a sapling was 50 feet tall, and even though it was planted 25 years ago, was uprooted completely. It could not withstand the waves, the tsunami. But on the contrary, if there was a native sapling that was planted 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and even if it is 25 feet tall, it stood. It did not get uprooted. That is when he derived a conclusion telling that, okay, saplings have to be native to withstand nature's fury. If you can observe, all of you would have, when there is a heavy breeze and a rain these days, the first tree to fall on the street will be a gulmohar. A jackfruit tree will never fall. A mango tree will never fall. A neem tree will never fall. You will see peltiforms. You will see gulmohars. You will see ashokas. I'm not talking about the standard Indian ashoka. I'm talking about the non-indigenous ashoka. So the one that they use for ornamental purpose, which just goes straight. So these are the first few trees to fall. Native plants attract a variety of birds, butterflies, and other wildlife by providing diverse habitats and food sources. In the Indian subcontinent, we have so many different native species of tree varieties. And the irony is we are losing species day by day. People are forgetting what kind of trees were there 25 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. We are trying to revive. So what are the advantages of it? One is every tree, every native Indian tree, whether it is a neem tree or it is a mango tree, it has something for a bird to sit and feed on. It has something for a butterfly to come and pollinate. It has something for a monkey to come and eat. So we are not looking only at an economical benefit, but also at an ecological benefit. an environmental benefit or an environmental sustainability. So the native saplings that we plant will bring along with itself birds, bees, butterflies, and wildlife as well. In the Miyawaki forest that we have created in Bangalore, we've seen frogs, we've seen new species of birds, we've seen snakes, and there are so many new varieties of insects that were never seen in that geography that has come back because of the Miyawaki forest alone. Added advantages: temperature. So, in a non-Miyawaki region, if the temperature is about 30 degrees, if you enter into a Miyawaki, there will be a recorded 3.5 to 4 degrees temperature drop. Number one. Number two, they regulate the temperature by evapotranspiration and providing shade. Number three, they also help in mitigate the impact of urban heat island effect. So, the temperature within a Miyawaki forest is less because of two reasons. One, because of the thick canopy that we see, there is no sunlight that is penetrating to the ground. So, under the Miyawaki forest, the temperature is always a lot cooler than outside of a Miyawaki forest. Number two, the soil is always moist. The fertility of the soil is not lost. And the water that falls down as rain is captured. There is no runaway water, or even if there is runaway water, the runaway water will never carry soil and soil erosion will be lesser. Fast growth: Miyawaki forest grows 10 times faster. This happens because of better organic nutrient. So we do something called as an soil enrichment process. And we enrich the soil because we are creating a dense forest. We are planting more number of saplings than usual in the given space. So we do soil enrichment, because of which the saplings grow faster. It provides optimum microclimate and nutrition for the plant to grow better. So when I say I spray, panchagavyam, I give cow dung, I give compost, I give neem cake, it helps the soil worms, the earthworms, to aerate the soil much better, and this also helps the roots to penetrate deeper and the plants will grow better. In the urban setup, what do we see the benefits? Urban forests help to filter air, water, and conserve energy and provide animal habitat and shade. Okay, so in the Miyawaki forest, I've already told you, in Bangalore, we have seen the temperature drop. We've seen comeback of frogs and snakes. We've seen water tables have been risen by about 50-60 feet over 8 to 10 years of time. And they add to the beauty, to the form, to the structure, and to the urban design. Nowadays, whoever is an architect who's constructing a huge villa or who's building a huge home, they come to us telling, I want Miyawaki forest to be a part of my design. How much space do you want me to give you? So it has been penetrating architectural designs as well. And it is creating a noise barrier. There is a lot of R&D going on in creating Miyawaki forests, not in terms of changing anything in the Miyawaki forest, but trying to create an insulating layer. Say if you're walking inside a Sankeytank, if you're walking inside a Jakkur lake, or if you're walking inside any particular lake, if we can create a soundproof barrier of a Miyawaki forest between the main road and the lake, the walkers will feel much more healed, right? So this is what are the urban benefits. Now coming to the health benefits, we all know plants consume carbon dioxide, they all give out oxygen. Miyawaki forests are lung spaces in cities like Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad, which are almost got 100% converted into concrete forests. So any and every empty space is a potential Miyawaki forest for us. We also try and bring in stakeholders from very many different components and try to make sure that each and every square inch which is barren gets converted into some kind of greenery. We have created about 35 Miyawaki forests. Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Telangana, Haryana, Noida. We've planted more than 1.3 lakh saplings. And this is what we are talking about. I told you I'll show you what a Miyawaki forest look like. So in front of you is one of our very first Miyawaki forests created in 2016, 24th of September. This is in Puram, Bangalore. It's in diesel loco shed. The land belongs to the railways. And to your left is the day of plantation, and to your right is plantation that looks now. This is in 4 years. The photo is at least a year since taken, so I can say it's about 3 years. Now this is another lake. It's a lake bed. It's called Kyalsanahalli. This is near Jigni, Bangalore. We had planted 9,400 saplings. This was in 2017, and the result is in front of everyone. This again is near Anikal Taluk. It's inside a government school. We planted 5,400 saplings in about half an acre space. This is in 2018. I can say this is just completed 2 years. And the density is very clearly visible. Now, this is again in 2018. This is in Vabasandra Lake. This is in Bannerghatta National Park, Bangalore. 2,000 saplings planted on August 19th, 2018. This is again a railway land. It's called IRIDM. This is in Bangalore, Bidadi. This is 2 years since plantation. So, maintenance with respect to a Miyawaki forest, we have a full-time gardener in every Miyawaki forest that we create. These forests are maintenance intensive for the first 2-year period because we plant it very densely and we include a lot of soil enrichment components. We need to heavily flood it with water for the first 2-year period, not more than that. And then it becomes sustainable. Maintenance includes mulching, watering, removal of weeds, and the plants will grow by itself. Monitoring and evaluation, we do a regular monitoring. We do a timely monitor in which we keep a track of are the saplings growing in height with respect to the time. So we have a kind of a standard graph that we've plotted. In 6 months, the 4-feet saplings have to reach 8 feet or 9 feet. In 12 months, in 18 months, in 24 months. So we'll do that. In case there is any intervention required, we will again intervene. Again, not by using chemical insecticides, pesticides, only by using organic supplements alone. Long-term carbon dioxide sequestration in tree and biomass and soil. Monitoring of soil and local microclimate. So we are trying to come out with a organizational research and development study with respect to our Miyawaki forests. Now coming to the organizational benefit, because we are a not-for-profit organization, we are an NGO trust. We come under the Miyawaki forests, basically come under 2 sustainable developmental goals. One is number 13, which is climate action, and second is life on land. Because I am continuously talking about birds, bees, butterflies, insects, and multiple other ground-dwelling animals. We do compensatory carbon dioxide emission, engage employees in tree plantation. We do get appreciation from all across the globe, align with sustainable developmental goals of the United Nations. Yeah, and this is about SayTrees. And I'm open for questions right now if you have any, and I will just talk about a little bit more if the questions are coming to a halt.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Madhusudan. Excellent presentation and wonderful concept.
Thank
We
you.
are all proud of your NGO and wish you all the
Thank you.
best. Now
Thank
I
you. Thanks a
request
lot.
the participants to ask their questions. We'll also be posting the speakers' contact details in the chat window so that if we don't have time to take up all the questions, you can contact the speaker separately after the meeting. Now we'll move on to the question round. We'll move on to the participants. Participants, please come out with your questions. Mr. Madhusudan, can you please stop sharing the screen?
Sure.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Venkatesha to ask the first question.
Madhusudan Namaskara, ನಾನು ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಿಂದ.
Namaskara, Venkatesh. Hey.
I'll talk in English because other members also part of they
Sure.
can understand. Sir, actually, this concept can be adopted for the horticulture plants also.
A good question, Mr. Venkatesh. Now, we get too many such requests asking for horticulture. But yes, Miyawaki works good when the biodiversity is too high. So we cannot
Actually,
create a Miyawaki. Sorry, let me just complete. We cannot create
yeah,
a Miyawaki with 5, 10, 15 types of saplings. And
okay,
saplings cannot be just fruit yielding or just timber yielding, or it should have a mixture of fruiting, flowering, timber, all of it. So,
okay,
and it
okay,
should also have fruits, it should also have plants, basically.
okay,
So when we do create Miyawaki, we plant hibiscus, we plant jasmine, we plant champa. So all of these will go into Miyawaki, though they are ground dwellers and they will disappear in about 6 to 8 months once the sunlight doesn't penetrate into the ground.
okay. Why I asking this question is the same concept of in when I went once horticulture at Hesarghatta, they shown a
Mm-hmm.
concept of planting the the fruit bearing plants in the
Mm-hmm.
smaller distance like Goa or Sitapal like that. So I mean Goa and other plant. So like that
Mm-hmm.
can be adopt this concept. Just it is a thought process. It has come. I'm not into the agriculture. I'm going to enter, but it's a thought process. It has come, so just sort of checking up with you.
It's
And however, I will meet you once. I am from Banerghatta Road, Akshay Nagar, Hulimavu. We have maintaining a
okay.
one lake where we can adopt this. I'll find out with my team and come back to you.
Sure, Mr. Venkatesh. Thank you. I'd like
Thank
to
you very
just
much.
add something. Sure. I'd
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like to add something, to everyone. I'm just trying to give a little more, talk a little more. One thing is, yes, people come back to us asking, can I do a monoculture with a Miyawaki forest with neem? Can I do it with teak? Can I do it with red sanders? Can I do it with rosewood? But yes, our answer is Miyawaki is a concept which works with native saplings with biodiversity. Number one. Number two, we cannot do a monoculture. It is not Miyawaki. Miyawaki it can be called as a Miyawaki only when we have more than 40 plus or
Biodiversity.
50 plus types of saplings. Exactly.
Okay.
It has to be biodiverse. Number
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and
Thank you.
there is a kind of okay, there is a kind of a trend. I've got too many calls in the past asking for, can we create a food forest, food forest or a fruit forest using a Miyawaki technique. Now, creating a food forest or a fruit forest is it's a long-term process, so it cannot be done in 1 to 5 years. It is, I guess, it's about 10, 12 years plan. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Satish, please ask me a question.
Yes, Mr. Venkat to ask the next question. Then we'll move on to Dr. Satish Kumar. Mr. Venkat?
Sir, do you help for the private people also? Private lands?
Private lands, Mr. Venkat, yes, but the only thing is, as I mentioned, we are a not for government organization, not for profit. So we will not be able to do it under SayTrees tag. And when it comes to private lands, we always don't maintain. The maintenance is on the property owner, and the cost that is incurred will be as per actuals, and it will also include a GST component, because as a part of an NGO we use CSR funds, the corporate funds that come to us, and because it is private, it will be billed under a different name, so we will include a GST component, and we can talk about this maybe offline for private lands.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Satish Kumar to ask the next question. Yes,
I'm
Dr.
not able to
Satish.
hear you, Dr. Satish. I cannot hear you.
Dr. Satish, we are not able to hear you. We are not able
Maybe you
to.
can type your question. Maybe you can type your question, Dr. Satish.
Yes. Or you can log out and then do relogging. Okay, meanwhile, let's move on to another person, another participant. Yes, Mr. Dr. Gururajachar, you have any question?
Yes, sir. Mr. Venkatesh, what is the economic viability of this project?
With respect to environment sustainability, economic viability is zero. We do not do this for economical profit at all. There is no profit or there is no returns from a Miyawaki forest. It is purely for bringing back the lost ecological balance. So all these days, wherever we have created Miyawaki forests, they are open lands. They are lands where anybody can walk in anytime to get fresh air, and if there are fruits, they can pick it and they can cherish it. But the idea or the intention of creating a Miyawaki forest is to help nature recuperate itself, so it becomes a sustainable forest. And as far as my knowledge goes, nobody has created a Miyawaki forest for an economical benefit. But yes, in certain cases, there are a few, I can say, resorts or sanctuaries who try and create Miyawaki forests. In between, they try to have their rooms or lodges. Maybe that I can call it as an economical benefit. But again, that also comes under a private property, not under a government or a not-for-profit act.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. Now move on to Mr. Puskur Raghukumar. Mr. Raghukumar, you have a question. Okay, Mr. Venkat has got one more question. Yes, Mr. Venkat?
Yes, please.
Sir, do you claim carbon credit?
We are starting with that. We are starting with the carbon credit system. We are trying to identify how many organizations are there who do. First of all, we need to audit. We need to file it as a project. We need to monitor it. Carbon crediting happens only after 5 years. So in the first 5 years, carbon credits are not considered. So it's only after 5 years since plantation we can even start mapping or identifying how much of carbon has it consumed or how much of oxygen has it given out yet. But that is in the pipeline. We are engaging two research organizations and one or many corporate, or more than a corporate, it's like an auditing firm where we are talking to conduct the carbon credit system.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. One, Mr. Madhusudan, one question from the chat window from
Yes.
Mr. Ravi Karupaya. Do we
Yes.
have a list of tree varieties that are suitable for Tamil Nadu region, please?
Okay. Now, Tamil Nadu region, as I told you, it is native. Now, it is not a ready list. It is not like a menu card. I'm so sorry. I'm just speaking aloud. It's not like a menu card. It is not set. It is not a set of saplings. So anything that is native, anything that grows in your region can be used to plant. It has to be a mixture of plants, sub-level trees, and canopies. So please do not plant, just one variety in large numbers or 5-6 varieties in large numbers. That is not a Miyawaki. It has to have at least 40 plus or 45 plus species.
Right. Thank you. Mr. Vinayak, you have a question? Mr. Siddhappa?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Paresh Tiwari?
No, Mr. Lakshmipati. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you. Dr. Satish Kumar, are you ready with your question? Dr. Satish Kumar?
I guess Dr. Satish has left the chat. Left the
No, he
meeting.
is there
rather.
online. He is available
Okay,
now.
he's there. He's here. Yeah.
Yes, yes. All right. I think maybe he will do the logging in again. Right, Mr. Shirish?
Sure.
You have any question? You just joined. Mr. Shirish?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Okay, please. Yes, Mr. Shirish?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been late. I've been just logged in. Hello, sir. This is Shirish calling from Hyderabad. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I'm sure. Do you know what exactly should be done with Miyawaki in Hyderabad? Any suggestions? Being in metro. Thank you.
No, we have done many Miyawakis in Bangalore, Chennai, in Noida, all of being metros, and even in Bombay. So Hyderabad also we've done. We've done it in one location in Hyderabad. It is difficult. Given the condition in Hyderabad, it is difficult to create a Miyawaki forest, but yes, we can definitely do. The sapling varieties will just vary a little bit because of the soil type.
Sure, sir. I would contact you later. Thank you.
Please do. Please do.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Dr. Gururaj has got one more question.
Yeah,
Please
Mr.
ask me, sir.
Venkatesh, do you think that to create a Miyawaki forest, you should have a suitable ambience around? Like you can't do it in a concrete place. You can't do it in a place where are the roads and buildings. You should have a
Okay.
suitable
No.
environmental compatibility.
No, not at all. Actually speaking, any region can be converted into a Miyawaki forest. The only thing that we will always look at is ample sunlight. Miyawaki forests, while being planted, we need a good 10 to 12 hours or at least 8 to 10 hours of sunlight. We can do it even in between buildings. That is also possible. But it has to be east-west facing. That's it. Nothing else. It can be done. And one other thing is, because it involves a lot of heavy machinery work, we need accessibility to the location. So I don't think cities like Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, we have been creating Miyawaki forests very much, and all are not large parcels of land. Definitely not.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Venkat, you want to ask anything more?
Yes, yes, sir. What will be the approximate cost per 1 acre, sir?
Okay, now cost per acre again varies on the soil condition. If I give any value right now, I will not be able to, justify it in case the soil type changes. So I can give an approximate quantity without maintenance on a private property. It might cost you about 20 to 25 lakhs per acre without maintenance.
Okay. And do you organize any training programs?
No, we don't. There are no training programs.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Madhusudan, you wanted to add something more to your talk. You can do so now.
Right. So, as a part of the SayTrees projects, Now, there is one very important project that we have been doing in the last couple of years, which I feel is more related to the discussion that we are having. So I'll introduce the topic and the project, and anybody who is interested can get back to me. Now, we have been, conducting a project called as agroforestry, and we work very closely with farmers, very closely. When I say very closely, at a personal level. So what we do, we identify farmers, local farmers, marginal farmers who have their own land and who are not able to grow a lot of cash crops, or who are not having the investment, suitable investment to do on their land, who are not able to bring out that kind of an economical benefit or bring out that kind of a family sustainability from their land. We work with those kind of farmers. We give them fruit bearing saplings, and these are grafted saplings. I'm telling you again, all these, whenever we work with the farmers, we give them grafted saplings because they want economical benefit. That is what we are looking at. So we consider this as a symbiotic project where we increase the greenery of the region, plus the farmer will have a parallel source of income. When we talk about his cash crops, he might have one or two crops a year, but the rest of the time the land will be empty, vacant. He wouldn't be cultivating anything. So in regions from Anantapur, Hindupur, Bagepalli, Chintamani, Shidlagatta, these regions, we have identified farmers with whom we are working with. We give them cashew, orange, tamarind, amla, mango, all of these kind of saplings, guava, chiku, and they grow in their lands, and in between they grow their usual cash crops. So twice a year or thrice a year they will have their usual cash crop, but annually, starting from second year or third year onwards, they will have a regular annual income from the fruit saplings that they have planted. Now, we give them the saplings, we provide the saplings to them, and the only commitment that we need from the farmer is they are supposed to pit for the saplings, they are supposed to plant saplings and maintain the saplings themselves. So there won't be any maintenance component in it. And because we are getting CSR funds for this, I need to show survivability. I need to show how many saplings have survived by the end of second year. And if I can show a minimum of 85% survival by the end of second year, it becomes an ongoing project. We can add more and more and more farmers. Last year, we have planted close to 1 lakh saplings with 200 farmers. And today, this year, we have already planted close to 50,000 saplings with 150 farmers. And as we speak, the plantation is ongoing. There are multiple farmers who are still planting. So this is one of the projects. The only thing we look for while working with the farmers is we need an on-ground point of contact. So we do not work with individual farmers. So wherever we go, we work with an entire farmer group. It will be a group of at least 50, 25, 100, 150 farmers who come together, and they all will be reporting to one person. He might also be a farmer. I'm not telling I need somebody of my caliber to hold them together and drive the project. No, he can also be somebody from the neighboring community who can bring them all together, coordinate with us, and we can drive this in a very large scale. We want to take this forward as one of the biggest projects, because this is the only way that we can penetrate into rural India. There is a lot of land, and with the farmers, of course, the largest parcel of land in India belongs to the farmers, which is unfortunately going untapped. They're not able to cultivate more. People have migrated from the villages to cities looking for job opportunity, whereas we are going back into the villages looking for job opportunity now. So I request all of you, all the people who are in this meeting discussion, to please take this forward and get back to me with farmer community. That is what I am basically looking at. We want to add more and more farmers. We want to create more and more greenery, not just by creating greenery. I guess this is where I would like to bring in Mr. Guru Rajachar's question: what is economic viability? So, Miyawaki forest is not for economical benefit. It is for just a 100% attempt to bring back the lost ecological balance. There is no other intention with a Miyawaki forest. The groundwater gets recharged, the birds, bees, and butterflies will come back. The sparrows we've lost, Bangalore has lost sparrows. But if you get into a Miyawaki forest, you will still find sparrows living there. So, Miyawaki forest is an attempt which is becoming successful day by day. The Miyawaki forest that I showed you in Kyarpuram Diesel Loco Shed, people are visiting there every evening to take an evening stroll because the air is more clean, the weather is more cool, and it is more subtle. So people like Miyawaki forest for those concepts. But the project with the farmers, the agroforestry, is something that I'm driving because it is not just to green a place, but it also brings an economical sustainability to the farmer when he is not growing any cash crops. The trees that you plant, the mango trees or the tamarind trees or the amla trees, they all continue to grow for the next 10-15 years, and they continue to give economical profits even when the cash crops are not cultivated.
Right.
Yeah. So
thank you, Mr. Madhusudan, for a motivational statement. It was a driving statement from you. I see one more question appearing on the chat window. Says, are you doing this project in Tamil Nadu also?
if you're talking about Miyawaki forest, yes, it is
Yes.
already done in Chennai. But if you're talking about agroforestry, we are yet to get into Chennai
No,
or surrounding Chennai.
We want to know about Miyawaki.
Yes,
Only
Miyawaki. We've already created one Miyawaki in Chennai. There is one Miyawaki in Coimbatore.
In Coimbatore. Okay. Where exactly?
Yes.
In Coimbatore? Where exactly in Coimbatore?
Coimbatore, inside Periyar University.
Okay. The person who was asked the question may want to know the location, maybe.
We can share the location.
Right. Thank you.
I guess he's talking about agroforestry project. Agroforestry, as of now, we have not yet.
Okay. You go ahead.
Yeah. So agroforestry, we haven't yet penetrated Tamil Nadu in terms of agroforestry. We will be happy to do it. And usually agroforestry starts before the monsoon begins, because usually farmers plant saplings just before the monsoon because the rains are very good. Now is not the time. So I request whoever it is asking questions about agroforestry in Tamil Nadu, please get back to me by October, November, within 2-3 months. If we initiate a talk right now, we will be able to do agroforestry in Tamil Nadu as well in the next monsoon. Can be done.
Thank you, Madhusudan. Any more questions from the participants? All right. I think I presume we have come to the end of the question round. I like to thank Mr. Madhusudan HV Iyengar on behalf of Agriculture Information for taking his time to speak with us. I now request the organizer of the meeting, Ms. Rajini Jain, to please close the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I like to thank the speaker, Mr. Madhusudan Iyengar, for taking the time to talk with us. I also like to thank all the participants for their time. This meeting will be now closed. Have a good and safe weekend.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajan. Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati.
Thank you. You're welcome. All the best.
You're welcome, Mr. Madhusudan.
Thank you.